the practice, basically the Azure, they will provide it as a 1 month of free account to us. Only 1 month, 30 days free trial account they will provide to us. 30 days free trial account they will use to us. So for that, we are not practicing like in directly in Azure basis. So if you learn Azure SQL Server in on-premises, that is same in Azure platform also. Once again, I'm repeating, SQL Server, we are not learning in Azure platform. SQL Server, we are learning it as an on-premises platform. So why? Because of if we do the directly practice in Azure, we need to pay amount from Microsoft people. We need to pay amount for Microsoft people for that. Basically, they will provide 30 days free account. For that 30 days only, we need to complete the practice. So such a reason, first we will discuss SQL Server and Python in on-premises, our own laptop basis. Then we will enter into the a cloud. Okay. So now, here, first we will start it as a SQL Server. So in this SQL Server, basically SQL Server is a database. SQL Server is a database. SQL, as I explained in demo class, SQL is a language. SQL is a language. SQL is a language. SQL Server is a database. Okay. First, if we're coming into SQL language, so this is an language which is introduced IBM. This is an language which is introduced IBM in 1980s. So IBM company. IBM company, which is introduced by IBM company, in 1980s. 1980s. Okay. So the initial name is SQL. SEQAL. The initial name is SQL. SQL. Structured Query General English Language. Structured Query General English Language. Structured Query English Language. So after that, they have changed the name as SQL. After that, in 1990s, they changed actual name is SQL. After 1990s, they changed it as SQL. SQL full form is Structured Query Language. They removed it as a English. So this, in olden days, the name is Structured Query English Language. Structured Query English Language. So if we know the a way of a general English, even though in syntaxes in SQL, the same as general English only. It means to say the SQL syntaxes is also general English only. So how we will speak to the other people, the same way we will write the syntaxes in SQL languages. Okay. So by using this SQL language, Microsoft team has developed one database product that is SQL Server. That is SQL Server. Microsoft has developed one SQL Server product. SQL Server database product. By using SQL language in 1990s, Microsoft has developed one SQL Server product. So in this SQL Server point of view, we have several versions it is there. Several versions it is there. Microsoft 2000, Microsoft like SQL Server 2000, SQL Server, I'm mentioning it as a SS, SQL Server 2000, like a 2002, simply 2002, 2005, 2008, no need to write, this is just for your information. 2008, 2008 R2, 2008 R2, 2012, 2014, 2014, 2016,
ಇವತ್
2017,
ಲೇಟ್ ಆಯ್ತಮ್ಮ.
2015, 16, like a 17, 18, 19,
ಆ?
22. Please go on mute.
ಏನ್ ಮಾಡದ? ಓ ಮಳೆ ಬಿದ್ದಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಹೂವ ಆಗಿತ್ತಾ?
2022, like that, it is having various versions in the SQL Server. Okay. So like that, it is having the various versions in the SQL Server. For doing the practice, if you install any of the version, it is fine. For doing the practice, like about 2012, don't go with below 2012, about 2012 version, about 2012
ಅಮ್ಮ
version,
ಡೌಟ್.
about 2012 version, any of the version is fine. The recent version is 2023, like in any other version, it is fine. About 2012, any other version, it is fine for installation process. So here, what we will do is, like for installation process basis, we will share it as a one recording video, and also like we will share like basically we will recommend to use it as a 2016 version, 2016 version. So you need to like we will share that this Google Drive link also 2016 whatever the drive we have kept it, that Google Drive link also we will share to you people. Based on that, you people need to install the software. While installing, if you have any kind of doubts, you need to contact Shankar. It means who is our reception. Like I hope everyone has the reception number. Like already he called 73582 72592 35438. Okay, you can contact to him. Like he will help like a for installation process if you have any kind of doubts. Installation point of view, if you have any kind of doubts, he will help. Here in this class, I'm not explaining this like installation process. Why? Because of it will take around 1 hour of time. So like I'm not wasting the time here. So such a reason, like we are going with as a like this video recording for this software installation. Okay, in real time, the software installation, it is not our work, it is taken by ITT. Okay, so like here, if we go with somewhat of deeper, in each version basis, again, we have several editions. In each version basis, again, we have several editions. Let's say simply, for example, if we take the iPhone 16 version, iPhone 16 version. So iPhone any version. In this iPhone, there is the releasing multiple versions. Sorry, multiple editions. iPhone 6, let's say for example, if we take iPhone 16, in this, they are releasing Pro, Premium, Max, like 128 GB, 256 GB, like that they are releasing, right? So even though they are showing it as a color variants with the different products, like that they are showing. So same like this, in each version, they are releasing it as a various versions. Enterprise edition, enterprise edition, enterprise edition, developer edition, is having various editions they are releasing. So, if possible, better you people here we no need to learn differences and all, it's not required to us. If possible, you can install either Express Edition or Enterprise Edition. If you install any of these version edition, Express Edition or Enterprise Edition, like we will get all the complete environment to do the practice. You do the practice. To do the practice. Complete environment, we will get it. Okay, either Express Edition or Enterprise Edition, like a complete environment, to do the practice, we will get it. So, like now we will enter into the software environment basis, SQL Server software environment basis. Up to this, any doubts from anyone? Any questions? No? It's clear? Okay. Next, if you, once your software has been installed, then you need to search SSMS. SSMS. Once your software installation done, then you need to search SSMS. Under SSMS, we will do the practice of SQL Server. Under SSMS, we will do the practice of SQL Server. SSMS full form is SQL Server Management Studio. SQL Server Management Studio. SSMS full form is SQL Server Management Studio. SSMS full form is SQL Server Management Studio. So here, first one is it will ask it as a server type. First one, it will ask it as a server type. So here we have the several options. Like first one, we need to select it, like a database engine. Why? Because of we are working with as a database. So next three options is related to MSBI. It's a separate course like a MSBI. Next three options, it is related to MSBI. MSBI is a separate course. So MSBI point of view, it will divide it into three layers. MSBI, Microsoft Business Intelligence. Microsoft Business Intelligence. It is divided into three layers, like high level I'm giving SSIS, SSAS, like SSRS. SQL Server Integration Services, SQL Server Analysis Services, SQL Server Reporting Services. Integration services, it is an ETL tool. It is an ETL tool. So again, like in before ADF, before ADF, before ADF and Databricks, like the ETL perspective, they are using it as like a SSIS only. In Microsoft tool basis, before ADF and Azure Databricks for the like in on-premises platform, to performing the ETL activities, they are using SSIS only. SSIS only. It's SSIS is nothing but SQL Server Integration Services. SQL Server Integration Services. This we can use to to perform the operations like the ETL, any tool, ETL tool, as we discussed in demo class, the ETL tools we can use in two aspects. One is to moving the data from one database to another database. To moving the data from one database to another database. One database to another database. And second purpose is name itself, it is their integration services. So to combining two or more databases, to integrating the two or more databases, to integrating two or more databases, we can use these ETL tools. Even though we can use it as a SSIS, also the same prospects. The same prospects. So next one is SSAS. SSAS, we can use it as a SQL Server Analysis Service. SQL Server Analysis Service. These we can use it as a analytic purpose. This we can use it as a analytical purpose. Here we can prepare the cubes of information to easy analyzing purpose. Here we can prepare it as a cubes. It means to say here we can prepare it as three-dimensional data. Basically, table is two-dimensional, rows and columns. Here we can prepare it as a three-dimensional of information. Three-dimensional of information. Don't focus on this. Here we cannot able to understand this topic much now, initial days. Okay, three-dimensional of information. Just high level I'm saying. Just this SSIS, we can say that we can use to perform it as a ETL activity. ETL activity is nothing but to moving the data from one database to another database, or to integrating the data two or more databases of data. To integrating two or more databases of data. Okay. Next one is SSRS. No need to focus SSAS. SSAS, the word we cannot able to understand. Here, simply we can say that SSAS, we can use it as a to prepare three-dimensional of information. Three-dimensional of information. It's nothing but cubes. Okay. So next one is SSRS. SSRS. SSRS is nothing but SQL Server Reporting Service. Before Power BI, they are using reporting perspective. Reporting perspective, Microsoft people is using SSRS. SSRS is an reporting tool. SSRS and reporting tool. Reporting tool. Okay, reporting tools, what they will do is whatever the data, whatever the data it is in analytical database, it is in this database or data warehouse or database, whatever the data it is in database, those data they will show in graphical representation. They will show in graphical representation. Sir, why they need to show the data in graphical representation? So if the data is in table format or multi-dimensional format, like it is too much of time to analyze it. So for easy analyzation purpose, they will prepare it as a graphical representation. They will prepare it as a graphical representation. Okay. So once again, I'm repeating. So before Power BI, Microsoft people is using for reporting perspective SSRS. It's on-premises tool, on-premises platform tool. So this SSRS, like a, we will use it as a reporting perspective. Reporting tools, they will use it as a, whatever the data it is available in database, the same data to showing in graphical representation, we will use like a reporting tools. Any of the reporting tool, it is same purpose. Power BI, Looker BI, Tableau, ClickView, like it's the same purpose we can use it. Okay, so the purpose of this thing is that is the information. These three components we can call it as a MSBI. These three components we can call it as a MSBI. SSIS, SSAS, SSAS, SSRS. We can call it as a MSBI. However, we won't discuss that in our course. It's individual course basically. SSIS, SSAS are individual courses. So now, like our option is database engine. Database engine to work with as a SQL Server point of view, we need to choose it as a database engine. SQL Server database point of view, we need to choose it as a database. So next one is server name. So the server name, even like anywhere, it is the same concept, even in real time also. So the server name in real time point of view, the server name in real time point of view, it is having two approaches. One is like they will mention it as a textual format, text format like this. One is text format like this, text format like that, and second one is they will go with as a IP address. IP address. Okay, the server name in real time. First, it will take it as a first option. They will prefer to use it as a text format only, as usual text format only. Second format, they will provide it as a IP address. Even though if they provide IP address also, we no need to like think different way. Okay, so if they provide like IP address also, we need to enter that IP address here. If they provide a text information also, that we need to enter here. These server names, like in real-time basis, whenever they are giving the KT, whenever they are giving the KT, at the time itself, we need to take it. So few other people is not having the knowledge what is KT. So KT is nothing but knowledge transfer. Like whenever we are entering into the any real-time project basis, initially they will give it as some basic knowledge about that particular project. That we can call it as a KT. Okay. So whenever they are giving the KT, at that time itself, they will provide the server name and IP address. These server names and passwords information they will provide to us. Okay, so basically this server name, like while doing our practice, first I covered with real time. Now I'm coming into our practice. For our practicing basis, basically it will take the server name is your local machine name, your local machine name, your laptop name. It will take it as your laptop name. Okay, your desktop, your laptop name, your machine name, it will take it. In case if it is not taken, in case if it is not taken, click on this arrow mark, go with browse more option. Under click on local servers, click on this database engine. Under that, it will have that you can select it. Okay. Next one here it has like here the database server name is like simply if you want to go, you can keep it as a dot. that will represent your local server. This it won't work in real-time basis. That will represent, it will work, it will connect to your local server. In case your machine is installed in some software, that to connecting purpose, we can use that. That also it will work. That is represent local server. So in few of the versions, this dot won't work. So better to go with as a like a server name only. In few of the versions, it won't work. That like most of the versions, it will work, but in very rare few of the versions, it won't work. Like very less versions, it won't work. Better to go with like a server name only. Server name only. So like this, you need to type, search it, and then next option is authentication. Next option is authentication. Authentication is like if we're coming into authentication basis, before like we need to go with as an installation process. In installation process, in installation, there is a one of the screen, there is a one of the screen authentication. In installation, there is a one of the screen authentication. So this authentication basis, we have the two options. Like one is like mixed mode authentication. Second one is SQL Server authentication. One is mixed mode authentication. Second one is SQL Server authentication. Okay. So what is mixed mode authentication? What is SQL Server authentication? So if we go with mixed mode authentication, again, we will get after installation, we will get two options. If you choose there, it has a mixed mode authentication. After installation, you will get two options. One is SQL Server authentication. Second one is Windows authentication. Windows authentication. If you choose SQL Server authentication, after installation, you will get only SQL Server authentication. So what is SQL Server authentication? What is Windows authentication? Now, if you choose it as a SQL Server authentication, you need to provide username and password. You need to provide username and password. And password. You need to provide username and password. Don't think about spellings. Spellings, it will go with wrong. So by typing, it will go with wrong. So you need to provide username and password. Okay. If we go with Windows, authentication, you no need to provide the username and password, like whatever the Windows credentials, whatever the your local machine credentials, it is there, that it will use and it will log in, that it will enter into the database environment. Let's say, for example, now here, like by default, here it is selected as Windows authentication. Windows authentication. So if there is a Windows authentication, is it showing this username password option? It is disabled. It is disabled. So we no need to enter the username and password. So by default, it will use the my system credentials and it will logging into in machine, database machine. So else, if you select it as a SQL Server authentication, here you need to enter into username and password. Here you need to enter username and password. Then you need to enter into the database. Then you need to enter into the database. So now here we need to select it as like for doing the practicing basis, we will select it as a Windows authentication only. So if you select SQL Server authentication or Windows authentication, there is no much difference between them. So if you select SQL Server authentication, we need to use it as a username. We will enter it as a username and password, login ID and password. We will enter into it. If you select here it as a Windows authentication, Like we will select, like we are not providing, without providing the username and password, we will enter into this SQL Server environment. Clear? Any questions up to this? So now simply I'm clicking on connect. It will go with SQL Server environment. Up to this, any doubt, any question from anyone? Feel free and ask.
Hi Anna.
Yes, please.
Anna, Windows app there is no password and to create.
Sorry.
Windows there is no create password. No need password.
విండోస్ అనేది మనం సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకుంటే యూజర్ నేమ్ పాస్వర్డ్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేయాల్సిన పని లేదు.
Only SQL Windows you need to user password. Okay.
If once again I'm repeating, there is a two options. Overall, it is two options. If you select it as a SQL Server authentication option, we need to provide username and password. That username and password in real time, it will take care by DBA team. DBA team. This is very, very important. Like how, who will provide the credentials under DBA team. In real time, they will provide DBA team. DBA is nothing but database administration team. If you go with Windows authentication, we no need to provide it as a username and password. మనం username password provide చేయాల్సిన పని లేదు. Default, whatever the credentials it is having for Windows, that it will use and it will logging with your database. అవి డిఫాల్ట్ క్రెడెన్షియల్స్ ఏవైతే ఉంటాయో అవి యూజ్ చేసుకొని లాగిన్ అవుతుంది.
Okay, sure. No.
Okay. Any other questions? Feel free and ask questions. Don't think about others.
No.
Yes. Okay. So this DBA full form is database administration team. They will provide like a credentials, like if you are logging with the SQL Server authentication. In real time, most of the databases, we will go with as a SQL Server authentication only. 95% of the databases, we will enter SQL Server authentication only. Why? Because of security. Security. Like if they use it as a Windows authentication, it is not having that much security. So like in real time point of view, 95% of the things it will go with as a this kind of stuff only. 95% of the scenarios we will go with this is the stuff. Okay. So now we will go with as a like a this SQL Server environment high level. So this SQL Server environment is looks like this. Initially, whenever you click on connect, it looks like this. In SQL Server, any of the operation we can implement in two approaches. Most of the operations we can implement in two approaches. One is GUI based. One is GUI based and second one is query based. Query based. So what is GUI? What is query? What is query based? GUI is nothing but graphical user interface. It's nothing but like by using these options, option based, if you go to perform some operations, that we can call it as a GUI representation. By writing the SQL queries, if you perform the operations, that we can call it as a query representation. So in this course basis, like most of the places, 95%, 90, not 95, 99% of the places we will use query representation only. 99% places we will use query representation only. We won't learn it as a GUI based. GUI based. Option based, we won't learn it. 98, 99%, like 1 or 2%, we will use that GUI. Mostly 98, 99%, like we will learn it as a query representation only. We won't learn it as GUI based. Option based, we won't learn it. Why? Because of, if you learn it as a GUI based, that you can able to do the practice with only if you learn with as a GUI based, you can able to do the practice with only SQL Server. You can able to operate only SQL Server. If you go with other database product, then you cannot able to handle. If we go with Oracle, if we go with MySQL, if we go with BigQuery, if we go with Red Hat and all, like you cannot able to work with them. Like if you learn it as a query representation, you can able to work with other database products also. Except SQL Server, you can able to access another database products also. Even though if you learn query representation, that it will helpful to work with the PySpark and the Databricks. So SQL is heart of your entire database engineering, data engineering. Okay. So now, like here, we will learn it as a query representation. In case if you want to write it as a queries, here we need to select new query option. Whenever we select it as a new query option, it will open one new window. That we can call it as a session. Whenever we click on new query option, that it will open one new window that we can call it as a session. Okay. Once again, I'm repeating. Whenever we click on new query, that it will open it as a one new window that we can call it as a sessions. So these sessions, basically, we won't open too many. Like if you open it as a too many, it will impact to the performance in real time point of view. Like how much we require, that many only we can open it. Okay, this we can use to write queries. Clear? Any questions, any doubt up to this part? From starting of the class, feel free and ask. Don't think about others. Okay. So this we can call it as a session. So next, in these, like once you clarity about this up to this part, then we will enter it into the SQL Server environment. So here the first option is database. Keep heading database. I will give the running notes also. Keep heading database. Keep heading database. Databases are used to databases are used to store the data, to store the data to store the data in organized way. Databases are used to store the data in organized way. The next point, the databases are categorized into the databases are categorized into the databases are categorized into two types. Two types. One is system-defined databases. System-defined databases. Second one is user-defined databases. System-defined databases, user-defined databases. Keep hitting system-defined databases. Or else listen. So first listen. Databases anywhere, like anywhere, the databases which we can use to store the proper data, like which is the data which they can store in table format, rows and columns with a proper organized structured data. To storing purpose, we can use it as a databases. Okay, databases are used to store the data in organized way. To store the data in organized with proper format to storing the data purpose, we can use it as a databases. To storing the data in table format, we can use it as a databases. This databases, it is categorized into two types. One is system defined databases and second one is user defined databases. First one, keep heading system defined databases. So the system-defined databases is nothing but, listen. The system-defined databases is nothing but like which is by installing the software itself we will get, by installing the software itself we will get those we can call it as a like system-defined databases, or we can say that predefined databases. Predefined databases. Here the terminology is system-defined databases or system databases. Okay. So like once again, I'm repeating whatever the databases by installing the databases itself we will get those we can call it as a system-defined databases. System-defined databases. Which are the databases we will create those we can call it as a user-defined databases. Which are the databases we will create those we can call it as a user-defined databases. మనం ఏవైతే databases create చేస్తామో వాటిని user-defined databases అంటాము. Which are the databases we will create those we can call it as a user-defined databases. Which are the databases by installing the software itself we will get it. Those we can call it as a system-defined databases. Write it the same story. Keep heading system-defined databases. Which are the databases by installing SQL Server itself we will get those we can call it as 2 minutes. Those we can call it as system defined databases are predefined databases. Are predefined databases. System defined databases are predefined databases. System defined databases are predefined databases. Next point. The system defined databases are five in SQL Server. Five in SQL Server. One is master database. By seeing the board also you can write it. Master database, model database, model database, MSDB, MSDB, TempDB, TempDB. Fifth one is resource DB. Keep heading note. 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 But if we're coming into Azure SQL Server, Azure SQL Server, we have only two system defined databases. We have only two system defined databases. One is master, second one is model. Sorry, second one is temp DB, master DB, temp DB. First one is master DB, second one is temp DB. Okay, so detailed explanation, what is the purpose of each individual database and all that we will see in tomorrow class. Up to this, any doubt from anyone? Any question, feel free and ask.
Hello, Anna.
Yes, please.
నా 2016 కూడా ఎండ్ అవుతుంది ఇయర్. బెస్ట్ ప్రాక్టీస్ వచ్చి 2017, 19 అండ్ 22 ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసుకుంటే బెస్ట్ అని.
ఏదైనా ఒకటే.
కానీ మైక్రోసాఫ్ట్ నుంచి సపోర్ట్ లేదన్న బిఫోర్ 2016 ప్రెసెంట్ అయితే.
So for learning purpose, if you go with any of the version, it is fine. For real-time prospects, if you go with above 2016 version, above 2016 version, that is fine. Learning prospects, it's any of the version, it is fine. About 2012. Even though I am providing 2016 version only. నేను ఇస్తున్నది కూడా 2016. మీకు అది డ్రైవ్ లింక్ మీ వాట్సాప్ గ్రూప్లో like a drive link and as well as video link, both he will share, Shankar will share. So based on that, you people need to install by yourself. While installing, if you have any kind of queries, I already given his number also, you can contact to him. అర్థమైందా? Clear? Yeah. Any other questions? No? Yeah. Okay, guys. We'll meet at tomorrow. Bye.